Now, into the ticket office of Disneyland.
Oh boy, let's do this.
Don't think the CIA is going to be trying to hack your second-gen iPod.
I didn't think so. There might have been a lot of illegal music on there. I wouldn't doubt it. But, I mean...
You were supposed to bring death to the flagships, not join them.
Google has found a new way to piss me off.
iTunes is a constant source of embarrassment.
Behind-the-scenes camera crap.
Here, tell us about courage, Phil. Tell us about courage.
I am Nadella. I can't do it anymore without laughing. I was going to do the whole thing. Welcome, everyone, to the Calling All Platforms podcast. I am your host, Wes, and I'm here with Landon.
And this is where I stop talking.
I guess I should have introduced Caleb first and said, Landon's here. He's just listening, right?
Yeah.
And Caleb.
Hey, I'm here.
I'm here. We're here. You know, we got a lot of things to talk about. Listener, this is going to be our video games. It's going to be mostly video games. We may have a little commentary that might not be, but most of it's going to be video games.
Yeah,
and rants about video games and video game companies and how we feel. So we discussed this in the pre-show. We're going to kind of go more on, instead of just giving a whole spiel on what everything is and announce, we're going to go through on kind of the more major, probably more major titles, see how we feel, but also titles that maybe we're more interested in. And then kind of go that route on here on everything that's been announced. So
yes,
if you want to listen to that or listen with us, stay on here. Be cool. We apologize if we missed something that you might be interested in on there, but you can always take a look. And then if you want to get a hold of us, you can on our website or also on Facebook or social medias and kind of ask, be like, hey, what do you guys think of this? Or if there was a hardware, something you're interested in or whatever question.
Yep.
We'd be more
I will
happy
say,
with that.
though, basically from, the notes that I have taken over the gaming events that have happened over the past several weeks, that I'm going to talk about today are all of the things that I have paid attention to and have a genuine opinion on. If you ask about a game that is not talked about today, what you're going to get out of me is, I don't know what to think about that. And that's probably about it. Like, so basically, listener, if you are interested in absolutely everything that has been talked about in the gaming sphere over the past couple of weeks, and you have an hour to 2 hours to listen to our podcast, if you just want a full list of the games, like, you can go read an article that'll give you that in about 3 minutes. Like, that's what that is. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the stuff that is interesting to us. And I don't know, like, my opinion is important to me, and I don't feel like it need necessarily carry a whole ton of weight with you, listener. But if you are, like Wes said, interested in what we think about other games that were talked about that we don't cover today, let us know. Shoot us an email, comment on the website, whatever. We'll talk about it next episode. And I'll maybe go rewatch the trailer because odds are I've probably already forgotten it.
Fair enough.
Like, there were so many trailers, especially, and I will say this, like, Summer Games Fest happened, and I didn't watch it live. I watched it a couple of days later, and I skipped over most of the interviews because that is not really my jam. Like, give me kind of the straightforward introduction to the game via the carefully crafted trailer or gameplay snippet that the developers want me to see. That's usually enough for me, and if it's interesting to me, then I'll go do some more reading, and maybe I will watch the interview at that point or something like that. And so, I kind of skipped over a lot of the interviews. Yeah. Xbox Game Showcase I watched later, which, aside from the big old long thing at the end about just
Starfield.
Yep. That's what that.
Yep.
I forgot. Aside
We're
from
find
that,
out how many times you call it StarCraft just because.
Look, I'm sorry. StarCraft, Star Trek, Star Wars,
exactly.
Stargate, freaking just stop. Anyways,
all the stars.
Yep.
So many star names. But that one was a much shorter event, but I honestly had a harder time watching that just because it's like a constant onslaught. It does not pause. It's just like world premiere, Xbox exclusive, and just like splash screen, trailer, and then another trailer, and a splash screen and another trailer, then another splash screen and another trailer. I'm just like,
Yeah.
So it was fun, I guess, but like, wow, I could have done with an interview to break up, to break that up in the middle of it.
Fair enough. I mean, they did have two. They also had the extended showcase.
Yeah.
The director's cut
And that's
extended
where all
edition.
That's where all the
interviews were.
the stuff was, which like I didn't necessarily actually want a whole bunch of interviews, but I could have just one, like an intermission. I just needed a potty break. Okay, guys. Like,
I mean, Phil Spencer came out, right, and talked for a little bit.
that's true. He did.
See, there you go. Which I might add, he had a Hexen shirt on, which was really cool.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, that was a deliberate choice. I think the real question is, how much does Phil Spencer love Hexen? Like,
well, I mean, you got to realize they didn't do anything with id Software, Machine Games, which okay. They still have QuakeCon. They still do it. So we're assuming all of id, Wolfenstein. I'm assuming that's where Indiana Jones will be too, because it is Machine Games.
Yes, probably.
So actually, I didn't look it up. What is QuakeCon?
Otherwise, I mean, like, I will say, because Indiana Jones, we first saw that wasn't last year, that was the year before, right?
Yeah. And
all we saw at that point was a teaser. Just basically an announcement of, we're making a game that's an Indiana Jones game. Like, here's the franchise that we're in, and that was it. And they could be another 2-3 years before we actually see like gameplay of this thing, you know? So
yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me if we don't actually hear anything about that this year at all.
Okay, so QuakeCon, August 10th and through the 13th, 2023. So, but we'll probably hear a lot more of that side of things.
That's where all the id stuff will come from.
Right.
Kind of like I would expect if they actually do manage to close on the Activision Blizzard deal. We'll probably see a bunch of Activision games in something like an Xbox showcase, but the Blizzard games, I assume they'll still cover those at BlizzCon, because BlizzCon is it's a whole thing.
Right. I'm assuming that's what they'll do. I mean, we'll get into it. But,
yeah.
Well, why don't you start us off, Caleb?
Right.
Let's get going on this Summer Games Fest and things you want to talk about.
Yeah, let's start Summer Games Fest. That happened first. Just after we it was recorded. Just after we decided that we were, or just before, no, sorry, it was just before we recorded the podcast that was going to be like, okay, this is right before everything hits the fan. And we could have talked about it at the same time as Apple's event, but obviously we decided not to do that. So this news is a couple of weeks out of date. That's okay, listener. Breathe. Anyways, so there was kind of a trend at Summer Games Fest that I don't know. Do I like it? Do I hate it? A lot of games that I have played and really enjoyed were variations on a formula that was started by someone else. Like every FPS, first-person shooter that I have played, harkens back to Doom originally. I've played a lot of games that felt very much like Doom. And as much as I harp on and on and on about how Descent, which came out in 1996, is like the quintessential 90s shooter in terms of like being really interesting, super like snappy and fun to play, and like nail-bitingly difficult as the levels progress. Even Descent, which is it's a 6 Degrees of Freedom space fighter like game, still feels like Doom in a lot of ways. It owes that to Doom. So like, I love a lot of games that draw direct inspiration from games that came before them that were genre defining or whatever. I just also kind of hate it. Like, I think there's a part of me that's just like, stop remaking the same like 6 games over and over again. So there was a ton of indie games at Summer Games Fest that they're just another like procedurally generated Metroidvania platformer. And like some of them do have like a really cool vibe or super interesting art style or like this one mechanic that feels novel. And if it's the kind of thing where the game is like I don't know, maybe a couple of hours long, something like that. They're gonna charge me $10, and they're gonna give me a couple of hours of like fun, snappy, exciting gameplay in a cool art style that is essentially the same as a whole bunch of other games that have come before it. That's okay. I'm just worried that I'm starting to see larger and larger studio names associated with some of these games, and I'm like, please stop. Like, the game developers, this is not new. You're not really adding anything to the formula. Do something new. Do something different. Anyways, so there was kind of a lot of that at Summer Games Fest, and so a lot of the games that I'm going to talk about that interested me are games that specifically are like there's something that we've been waiting on for a really long time, or there's something that for one reason or another just caught me by surprise. I will say, the first one, Path of Exile 2, is neither of those things. It's a sequel to Path of Exile, yes.
Yep.
And Path of Exile is Diablo. It just is. It's free to play, kind of Diablo, and I give the developers like props for having turned it into something that is interesting in a world where Diablo also exists. But more than that, I may end up playing Path of Exile 2 just to spite Blizzard at this point, because I'm pissed off over Overwatch. And so that was literally my thought when the Path of Exile 2 trailer started playing, and I was all like, "Oh, hey, that's right, that's just Diablo. Okay, there's nothing interesting about this, except you know what? Diablo 4 just came out." And instead of playing Diablo 4, if I played Path of Exile, that would feel like a real sticking it to the man kind of action for me. So
fair enough.
So I may do that. We'll see. Listener, I don't want to tell you how to make your decisions, but if you decide to play Path of Exile 2 instead of Diablo 4 because, like me, you're just angry at Blizzard, rock on. Okay. The next game that they talked about at the Summer Games Fest was Lies of P. Have you seen anything about this one, Wes?
A little bit. I know a lot of people are excited for this.
Okay, so this thing is Pinocchio.
Yeah.
With BioShock vibes, Bloodborne vibes, and like that Alice in Wonderland game from like the Xbox 360 era. I don't know if you've seen that one. It's like a
Alice. Yeah, Alice.
Yeah, like super dark take on Alice in Wonderland kind of thing.
McGee, whatever his name.
Yeah.
American
so
McGee. Yep.
It's like it's got all those vibes to it, and it looks super interesting. Like they took source material that obviously has nothing to do with any of the games that I just said, and they infused it with the DNA of a lot of different interesting, really good games. And
Landon, you should look that trailer up while we're talking. It's called Lies of P.
Yeah,
I'm just curious on what you think.
I want to see more of that, and I want to play that. And I will actually say, so it's going to be available on Steam, PS5, Xbox, and it will be a part of Game Pass as well. There is a demo out now, at least on Steam. Might be on PS5 and Xbox too. So if you're interested, listener, you should go check it out. I have not had a chance to. Between I went camping and I had to prepare for that, and then before that I was taking notes on Game Fest, Game Showcase, and WWDC, and actually full-time job. I don't know. I have one of those. It takes up time and so on and so forth. So I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and try out the demo of this thing. But I'm gonna. You bet your boots I'm gonna
take a look. I wonder if that demo's on Xbox. I'll look on the Xbox app, see.
Yeah. I know for sure it's on Steam. And I don't think they've said anything about it like being taken down. Like, I think they intend it to be a demo that drives you toward the game.
That's the first thing on here. It says Lies of P demo. Yeah, I can do it. I can download it.
Yeah. And I actually really love like high profile games that get talked about in big showcase events like this that have the guts to release a free demo. Right? Because so often you will see companies, they won't give you a demo. They won't even give you a chance to play the game before you buy it because if you play it for 30 minutes or an hour, you're going to realize it's not worth the money, Like, oh gosh. That's why, like, I love open betas and stuff like that. I did the beta weekend for, was it Ghost Recon Wildlands back in the day. There's a video of it on the YouTube channel, listener. You can go watch. And it is essentially just a generic Ubisoft open world game with a military espionage skin on top of it. And it's super boring. Like, I just can't. There are, oh my gosh, so many people that I have heard, that I have talked about the Ghost Recon games with, that will say something along the lines of, yeah, but it's really fun to play with friends. And I always think to myself, like, how little do you like your friends that you think that it's the game that's fun versus just hanging out with your friends? Like, what low opinion of them do you have? It's like, of course it's fun with friends. Sitting around a table talking is fun with friends. Like, you don't have to have a game to have fun with friends. If the game is not fun without your friends, then the game isn't fun. Adding your friends to it just means that you have good friends. The game is still not fun. Like, so yeah, that
makes sense.
So that, that's what I get out of a lot of, like, oh yeah, free weekends and stuff like that for testing and beta test periods and stuff like that. So anytime I see a AAA developer, especially, that puts out a demo for their game, that they're confident. Like, they are so sure that you're going to love this, that they gave you a free opportunity to try it for like an hour or two before you actually pay money for it. They are confident that's going to turn into sales. And I got to respect that. So I'm going to try that out. I'm going to find out if it's good, because it looks outstanding.
Yeah, it looked really interesting to get into that Pinocchio vibe with all the other stuff you described it as.
Yeah.
It's just, and that's so cool that someone's daring, like you said, to do something like this. Like, it's so cool. I just hit download, so I just downloaded it to the Xbox.
Nice.
So I'm going to try it.
Nice. Yeah, that should be good. Okay. The next game that I've got a hard time with this one. So Alan Wake 2. Listener, if you know Alan Wake 1, then you may have just wet your pants. I don't know. It's a whole thing in a certain sphere of the gaming world. Alan Wake is like one of the greatest games ever made to some people. And I want to say that maybe it's just inherently that good, because I don't know of anybody that I've talked to that has played all or even a significant amount of Alan Wake that didn't love it. Right? So that's pretty positive. But also, I don't know that many people that actually have spent a significant amount of time in Alan Wake. So it's like, I don't know. Is the game really good? We'll call it a cult classic, right?
I think how we'll have to do that. Yeah, even so that's similar with me. Like, I actually never played the first one.
Oh yeah,
but I've heard raving reviews of the first one, and so it's kind of like, cool. I'm excited for those people.
Yeah, well, it's really weird to me too, because so this is Alan Wake, and Alan Wake 2, obviously made by the developer Remedy. Okay,
yes,
and Remedy has they're almost like a cult classic, like a cult following developer. Like, you have some developers where, people will play everything that they make, like Blizzard, but that's like, it's a huge chunk of the gaming sphere has played Blizzard games, and they have a reputation associated with them, and very specific style that people just love, and they gobble it up. Remedy kind of has that same sort of fervor from their fans, but it's just a way smaller group of people.
Yeah.
But and so there's a bunch of Remedy games that people just absolutely love. I never really gave any of them a close look until Control came out. And that one had like flying and telekinetic guns, and it just looked really interesting. And so I finally bought Control, and I haven't finished it because I I don't know. I don't have time to play games. That's really what it comes right down to. It took me like 5 years to finish The Witcher the first time through. Okay, listeners, so give me a break. But I have played like 2/3 of Control, and I love it. The gameplay is super fun. The story is wild, like really wacky, super interesting, like Pulp Fiction stuff. It's great. I love the world. It's a fantastic game. And so many people, when it came out, were just like, this is just another really good Remedy game. Like, they dismissed the quality that Control was. There were a bunch of bugs when it first came out, so apparently that's also a pretty typical Remedy thing to have happen. But they just dismissed the overall game quality as being par for the course for Remedy. And so I'm like, oh, maybe I should actually like take the rest of their games seriously, because I absolutely loved Control. So nothing that they showed for Alan Wake 2 actually looked that interesting to me. I'm assuming if you've played the first game, there's probably a bunch of callbacks in the trailer and stuff like that are going to be exciting for you. None of that worked for me. None of it actually looks that interesting to me. There's not telekinetic guns and levitation or anything like that. But it's a Remedy game, so maybe I should be interested just because I liked Control. I don't know. So it's a really weird question for me. Like, so many people treat Remedy as like, here's this standard, right? This is their normal thing. And I guess I like that, but I don't know. Anyways, I got to try at least one other Remedy game. Alan Wake 2 is the next one that's coming out, so that may end up being it. Find out if Control is a fluke.
Maybe. I'm kind of on that. Like, I've just heard people love the Remedy games, and I just haven't really given. Yeah. I was thinking of Control, but I just never got around to it. So, but yeah, we'll have to see what happens with this one.
I will say, possibly my favorite thing about Control is I didn't pick it up until like 2020 or something like that. And by the time I actually started playing it, Loki had started showing on Disney Plus. And I was watching that. And so Loki has that, like, the TVA's whole aesthetic is like the 70s. Like, that's their whole jam. All their technology, their design of their offices and stuff like that is very 70s business chic. And that is what Control is. Like, it has like that whole style in there, except it came out before Loki hit it big. So they're not copying there. That was original unique idea to Control. And it was so good. And apparently that kind of like almost forward thinking, super stylistic aesthetic is kind of endemic to Remedy's whole thing. And I don't know. So we'll see, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Speaking of sequels that I feel like are worth noting, I don't know. I want to say on the strength of their first game, but I guess the strength of the first game in this was that it was the first game in this franchise that didn't suck, and that made it noteworthy. There's a whole bunch of Warhammer fans that are going to kill me for saying that. Warhammer Space Marine 2. They talked about that. I really want to like Warhammer games because the Warhammer lore is insane. Like, it's crazy. I have, like, listener, if you've listened to the podcast for any reasonable amount of time, I am a ridiculously weird sci-fi fan. Like, I love Star Trek. That's like one of my favorite franchises, but just in general, pretty much any science fiction, you've got my attention, right? Foundation, Dune, those came out over the past couple of years. Absolutely adored them. Super looking forward to their follow-ups. Ender's Game, stuff like that. Totally my ball of wax. I get into big arguments with people about how Star Wars isn't actually science fiction all the time. Like, that's kind of my whole jam. Warhammer 40K is like, it's so hard to describe. It is science fiction, mostly, but totally unlike any other sci-fi on the planet. It's like science fiction crossed with the Cthulhu mythos, and it's so bizarre and interesting to me, and I kind of love it. Like, their lore is fantastic. But the I don't know, the board game, the tabletop game for Warhammer, it's really expensive to get into, super time consuming. Like, I think it's really cool, and I am happy that people are in the hobby and having a good time doing it, but that is just not for me. Okay?
Yeah.
So you would think video games, right? Warhammer video games is where I can get that lore from, right? Without just having to go read a bunch of Wikipedia pages. Except I've played some Warhammer video games. I've played at least about a quarter of the original Space Marine and stuff like that. It's a really generic shooter and did not give me much in the way of lore. I felt like it just felt like an early 2000s first-person shooter. So, I keep wanting to like Warhammer video games, but they all just are so generic, with the exception of the Dawn of War games. First two, at least. I guess the third one was kind of generic, but,
That was that RTS. Right?
Yeah, Dawn of War is
that
the RTS.
That one was fun.
And it's like, Dawn of War is a good game. Like, it's a good RTS, but by virtue of being a real-time strategy game, it also doesn't really give you a whole ton of lore, because, like,
right.
You just are fighting your friends.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I get what lore I can get from how the unit building happens, but that's about it,
Right.
And who knows how accurate to the actual lore that is. So yeah, I would really love for Space Marine 2 to turn out to be just like a super awesome first-person shooter that is absolutely drenched in Warhammer styling and lore and that kind of thing, and not to just feel like yet another beige Xbox 360 first-person shooter, which is what the first one felt like.
Yeah.
Like, it was, there's no color in that game. Oh my gosh. So, I've got my eye on it on Space Marine 2. I just want it to be excellent. I don't know if it will be, but, you gotta have hope.
Yeah, I mean, my comment on that is I've been wanting to as well get into that. So I've actually been in the medieval Warhammer stuff. Learning about that. Like, currently I'm in a book series called Gotrek and Felix. Oh my gosh, so funny. I love it. Anyway, but I've also played been playing like the Warhammer Vermintide, and I've played those things. I never did do the tabletop stuff, but when I would go to conventions and go to stores and things, I would see people playing it and I'd watch it, and then, yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, and
Yeah.
I have been wanting to get into it, and I just, for the futuristic Warhammer, like 40K and stuff, that one I just don't know where to start myself.
Oh yeah.
So a game like that wouldn't be too bad for me too, to just kind of be like, oh, okay, kind of get a gist to get into it. But I mean, even the medieval one, I'm still like, okay, what the lore, this and that. So there's so much, and
yeah.
And
like medieval Warhammer is like, that's really interesting to me as well, just by the virtue of the whole, like, everything is war, the whole grimdark styling for the Games Workshop games, where everything is about war, everything is conflict, and that defines every aspect of life. That, it's interesting to me because they've kind of used that in their lore to spin up to the end of the world in a couple of different ways, to where, like, everything just kind of consumes itself with conflict and destruction.
Yeah.
And that's, like, it's an interesting ground that they tread over there, but, like, 40K works for me more, I think, because sci-fi.
Yeah,
I like sci-fi. I like the space stuff and the science and technology aspect of it. And also, they've dumped a lot more effort into 40K over the years. Like, you can tell just by looking at them. They've actually done the opposite of what Blizzard did with their knockoff copies, where, like, StarCraft got this tiny little sliver of attention and lore, and Warcraft got everything else.
Yeah,
like,
just
holy
opened
crap.
up.
So, it's interesting to me. I want to love these games, but I just haven't seen any video game entries that actually looked like they were super worth playing a whole bunch of. So
yeah,
we'll see if that changes with Space Marine 2. All right. Baldur's Gate 3. Just a quick note on this.
Say this.
We've talked about Baldur's Gate 3. It's been in early access for ages, and, like, it's a game based on one of the I would probably say the best D&D, like, directly D&D affiliated computer games. But, open for debate if you really want to. that it's worth noting that the original Baldur's Gate kind of started PC RPGs as we understand them. And it also started BioWare, who, went on to develop Knights of the Old Republic and Mass Effect and Dragon Age. And, frickin' if you love PC Western RPGs, you love BioWare. And if you don't, then you don't love Western RPGs. I don't know. There's two camps here. Either you don't like Western RPGs or you like BioWare. There's no middle ground here. So obviously Baldur's Gate, I pay attention to it. I have a special place in my heart for it. And the fact that it's being developed by Larian Studios now cracks me up. There's a whole history to that, listener, but essentially,
I actually don't know that. You should tell me.
Oh man. Okay.
I don't know. I'm interested.
Great. No. So Larian, they started out in the 90s. 90s? Yeah. With the original Divinity, right? Or early 2000s. I can't remember. Late 90s, early 2000s. That was basically a knockoff of, not directly Baldur's Gate. It was a knockoff of, I guess, Icewind Dale, which had come, was another follow on to Baldur's Gate and that whole franchise sort of, I guess, spin-off. And so Divinity was just not even a really good knockoff. It was just kind of a bad knockoff. And it sold okay. They did all right. It wasn't terrible, but it was nothing special. And so a couple of years passed, they released Divinity 2, which was a knockoff of Morrowind, I think. They switched over to ripping off the that one Elder Scrolls, to the Elder Scrolls franchise. And I can't remember if it was Morrowind or
Oblivion,
one of those two.
Between that time.
Yeah, it was just kind of a knockoff of that style of game. And I don't know, I've played that one too. It's fine. Nothing super special about it. It's okay. And then they switched, they made an RTS. Divinity 3 was a real-time strategy game. And none of these games were super commercially successful. The world of Divinity was kind of super generic and really derivative, did not feel unique or interesting in any way. And they got dumped by their publisher because they were not making successful games, And so Larian, the studio, had a come to Jesus moment after Divinity 3 in the late 2010s. They spent several years struggling to get by and finally put together a Kickstarter for a new Divinity game called Divinity Original Sin. Mm-hmm. With Divinity Original Sin, they were going back to where they started, right? Top-down, isometric, third-person RPG that was based around something very similar to the Dungeons & Dragons engine that was a spiritual successor, harkened back to the original isometric RPGs that inspired them, the D&D ones like Icewind Dale, like Baldur's Gate.
Yep.
And they made Divinity Original Sin. It was a smash hit. Everybody loved it. They did a follow-up Kickstarter for Divinity Original Sin 2, which absolutely smashed its goals. And they've released, I think, inarguably the best third-person isometric game since, I would say, Baldur's Gate. Literally, it's or I don't know, I guess that there was another Torment. Planescape. Yes. That one. So, it's up there though. Divinity Original Sin 2, universally accepted as one of the best RPGs of this style ever made. Right? And during that time, BioWare went through their highs of making some of the best RPGs to ever come out of the Western world. And then they got bought by EA and tanked and fell into the abyss.
Died.
So when Wizards of the Coast came around with the Dungeons & Dragons license, looking for somebody to make a Baldur's Gate 3, they looked at BioWare, who did the first one, and were like, we really don't like anything you're doing right now, because what you're doing right now is terrible Mass Effect games and Anthem. So, please no. And so they looked around at the gaming landscape, and what do they see? A spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate that is inarguably one of the best RPGs ever made by the studio who got their start ripping off Baldur's Gate. And so they gave the license to them. So Larian started out making a bad ripoff of, basically Baldur's Gate, and now they are making an official Baldur's Gate title. And I just love that. By all accounts, Baldur's Gate 3 is really good. It's getting a 1.0 release in August, and I really, really want to buy this game. The only problem is, I should probably finish Divinity Original Sin 2 first.
Oh, geez. If it took you to complete Witcher and how long?
Oh, my heck. Yeah, that's the problem. 5 years to finish The Witcher 3 the first time that I, actually 100%ed it. Which, if you were wondering, listener, is why my review of The Witcher 3 on our YouTube channel is so many years after the game was originally released.
Yep. It's awesome.
It took a minute. Okay. Anyways. Yeah. I don't know if I'll ever actually finish Divinity Original Sin 2, but I want to. And I've told myself I'm not allowed to buy any more RPGs until I finish that one.
Oh,
so
geez.
Witcher 4 could come out. Baldur's Gate 3 has already come out. And these are massive entries in franchises that, the remake of Knights of the Old Republic could come out. And I won't be able to buy any of them until I finish Divinity Original Sin 2. That's what I keep telling myself. So I need to freaking finish that game.
That would be a fun one to actually watch you play. I think I would. If you ever stream that, I would watch you play that. That would be fun.
I think people watching would mostly just get super frustrated with how really bad I am with the combat. I'm playing it in storybook mode. Okay, listener.
That's fine.
I am in story. I take almost no damage from attacks, and I do way more damage than I should do. The game is built around just letting me experience the story, but I'm sitting there having conversations with cats and stuff like that. Freaking, I have a squirrel riding on the back of a skeleton cat as a part of my party, and gosh dang it, that's the best part of that game so far. The details of that game are immaculate. It's so good.
If it makes you feel any better, that's probably how I would have to play a game. I only take minimal damage, but I can put out as much, all the damage. And
yep.
Except I probably wouldn't be talking to all the little woodland creatures. I would be smashing them with a sword or something.
I got a question, Landon. Have you actually ever done tabletop? You actually sat and done a night of...
Ooh.
You know what? That would be fun. We should. I would love
stream
to.
That.
That would be fun. We should try and do something like that. I think you'd have a blast.
We'll send you a link to a single episode of I don't know, Dimension 20 or something like that. You can watch that, and then we'll do our own.
It'll be fun.
All right. Okay. So, tangent aside, let's move on. Okay. Move on to possibly the most important game of Summer Games Fest. Palworld. I have almost nothing to say about this game, but I think it is possibly the most interesting game to come out of the entire thing. It's basically Pokemon crossed with Call of Duty.
Yep.
So as the Pokemon trainer in this situation, you have guns and you can in fact just shoot the Pokemon. And the other trainers, as far as I know. It's, I really have got no read on what to expect from this game, but the trailer is just, it's Pokemon and also you shoot stuff with guns, and I am so interested in that concept. Don't see how they can possibly screw this up.
Yeah. They're the beginning of this, so.
That doesn't even really need any storyline. Just, put me in an arena with Pokemon and fight.
Open world where instead of having the Pokemon fight each other in order to get them weak enough to capture them, you have to shoot them. Even if that's all it is, I'm just interested in how this looks to play out. As a person who has played Pokemon games, even semi-recent Pokemon games, I'm kind of yeah, okay, let's see this. I'm down.
Yeah.
Okay. Lord of the Rings.
Great show. Great book.
Listener, you may have also, over the years on the podcast, gotten the idea that I do like Lord of the Rings. And I do. I am a reserved fan of the books. I love Middle Earth and the lore that Tolkien created and all that stuff. Super awesome. Excellent stuff. He was a very dry writer. Not my favorite writer. That's okay. Good story. Good world. It's fine. The movies, love them. The trilogy. The Hobbit trilogy is about 8 hours too long for its actual story. Should have been maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours of actual story in there, but there's a good hour and a half to 2 hours of movie in the 9+ hours of movie they actually made. Just needed some editing. So yeah, Lord of the Rings, I like it. I like stuff set in Lord of the Rings, like in Middle Earth, in that world. It's interesting to me. Still haven't watched the Amazon show, but I haven't
watched that either.
Like, I don't inherently dislike the concept of it. It's an interesting world. It's interesting lore. So yeah, generally speaking, give me more of it. And stuff like Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, really good stuff. Like, that's fun. It's just a new, interesting take on this stuff. That being said, Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. It's a really interesting game. To me, it just kind of looks like name brand Dwarf Fortress or something. Like, it's basically a dwarf-based city builder underground in Middle Earth. I'm really not sure how to feel about it because, like, on the one hand, Lord of the Rings, more Middle Earth is good, right? But on the other hand, it feels like a really generic derivative game, like what we've seen of it so far. I'm just like, if the only unique thing you have brought to the table is the Lord of the Rings IP, I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, so. I wasn't, when I watched it, I mean, I like dwarves, I like Lord of the Rings, but I was kind of like, I mean, if it comes to Game Pass, I'll try it.
Right. Yeah.
Is it that bad? That's so bad.
No, that's very much where I'm like, yeah, if it ends up landing on Game Pass at some point in the future, I'll probably download it and try it just because it has Lord of the Rings in the title. But that's not enough to get me to pay for something. So
yeah, that's tough.
And speaking of things that I should be a giant fan of, but just having the brand on them does not necessarily earn my dollars, Star Trek Infinite. Based on the name alone, I am very skeptical that this will be any good. It just feels too much like every other generic, crappy Star Trek game that has been released over the past couple decades.
Yeah.
There have not been a ton of great Star Trek games. I enjoyed Star Trek Elite Force back in the day. It was just Quake, right? Like, as far as gameplay was concerned, it was nothing unique there, but it was kind of a fun story told from the perspective of the crew of Voyager. And as a kid who grew up watching Star Trek Voyager, that's the Star Trek show I'm the most nostalgic for. So, yeah, all right. Like, they got me with the nostalgia there. Star Trek Infinite, it was kind of just like a name drop teaser thing. And it's one of those like, oh, we're going to bring together all of the crews together so you can play. And that's just Star Trek Fleet Command or Star Trek, that stupid card-based one. I made a review about both of those over on the YouTube channel. You can go watch them, listener. Kind of get my feel on how Star Trek gaming has been going as of late. If this ends up being different, I will happily eat all of my words. But so far, not looking forward to it.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't get very much out of it, so
no.
We'll see. I'm sure there's other Star Trek fans. People are going to write up more as it comes closer to come out, so.
Yeah. And wrapping up Summer Game Fest for me, at least, was Lysfanga. Lysfanga? Yeah, I don't know. This is a game that has extremely strong Hades vibes, which, like, it's a good vibe. Like, Hades is a great game. It also has some strategy vibes, too. The way that they were kind of pairing those together made it look a little bit like if I was playing Hades as the druid from Diablo 2. And I'm like, oh, that's a good mix. It's a good vibe for me. That really kind of hits the spot. So I'm going to keep an eye on this just because, like, it looks like an interesting concept. And also, yes, love Hades, love the Druid from Diablo 2. If they actually have kind of paired that in some way, then they're speaking my language. They're right up my alley there with that one. So we'll see. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Summer Games Fest for me. Like they talked about Annapurna is going to be having a showcase of some of the stuff that they're doing on June 29th. So when that happens, we'll have maybe a couple of more indie games to talk about. Annapurna does some indie development, publishing and publication type stuff, and they're usually associated with pretty interesting games. Like I tend to like Annapurna stuff, at least conceptually. So I'll pay attention to that. They also showed a trailer for The Witcher Season 3, which I'm excited for that. I liked Seasons 1 and 2. They were good.
Nice.
So, but yeah, that's Summer Games Fest. You have anything else to add about Summer Games Fest?
I figured I would mention this. Obviously, these are, I guess you'd call them the bigger ones. We know there's Mortal Kombat 1 that's coming out. I respect them. I am not good at fighting games.
I gotta say, this go round, I'm actually way more interested in Street Fighter because they have a character creator and like a career mode for Street Fighter, which is super strange. But I like that weirdness. They went a little wacky with it, and I'm here for it. Mortal Kombat 1 just looks pretty. It's just a Mortal Kombat game.
Yep. And it's not a diss on that at all. It's just
if that's your vibe,
jam.
if that's your jam, then go for it. But it didn't really catch my attention.
I'm a little interested in Prince of Persia. I kind of want to see a little bit more of that. It looked okay. Like it wasn't too here or there with it, just kind of there.
Hard to say from what they showed whether or not it'll actually be good.
I also so Final Fantasy VII, the remakes and things of that, I've actually made, and this isn't saying anything there, I've actually made an attempt to stay away from lore and stay away from it because that's one I do want to play. I had heard what made me want to stay away. So obviously it's not on the Xbox. It's not there. It is on PC, but it's on the Epic Game Store. That will be my last resort if all of a sudden Square Enix is bought by PlayStation. So I'm still kind of holding out for it to come to Xbox so that I can just enjoy and play it. So I've actually done pretty good at keeping away. So when that did come on, I kind of just, okay, next. So it is a big thing. A lot of people have played it. A lot of people are talking about it and whatnot. So, but for me, like I'm aware it's there, but like I said, I'm kind of staying away from it at the moment. Obviously, they talked about the next one's going to be actually 2 discs. Like the physical release is going to be 2 full discs. So everyone's cool. Man. I mean, it's Final Fantasy VII. So
like mad props to Square Enix for not just remaking Final Fantasy VII, which would have made them billions of dollars, like, to be clear, because that game has such a central position in the gaming history, but actually trying to basically take the concept and then, okay, here's basically an alternate universe reality where that whole thing went off in a different direction and doing that. And like that's actually very interesting to me and kind of a fun way to do a remake while letting the original work just stand on its own as this pinnacle, the pedestal that people have put it on over the years. So I will say that the whole like, oh, we're putting it on 2 discs. It's like, keep in mind, listener, those are Blu-rays, right? Like they're not CDs. They're putting it on Blu-rays, and Blu-rays hold like 15 gigs or something like that. And
I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah.
And so having 2 discs for it, that's just the game data, right? That is not the high resolution textures and crap like that it'll download from the internet when you put the disc in for the first time. So this is going to be a gigantic game. And it kind of reminds me, somebody did the math not that long ago on like a YouTube video that I saw, where they were talking about the original, like why the original PlayStation was so successful against the N64, where they were a new entry into the field, whereas Nintendo had been dominating for years and years. And it really comes down to the fact that the original PlayStation used CDs. And so they could put a lot more data onto the discs that Nintendo could put onto their dumb little cartridges. And somebody pointed out that if Final Fantasy VII had been released on the N64, it would have required something like 70 some odd cartridges in order to hold the physical data that was actually on the game discs. So yeah, that Square Enix never changed. We love it.
Yeah. So that's that. And just want to make you aware. I am aware of it. We are aware, but for me, I'm just kind of staying away till I can play it. Like I said, kind of holding out for a minute. I still feel that it'll be to the Xbox platform. If it doesn't, like I said, last resort, I'll play it on Epic, so I know. Or I'll just borrow my brother's PlayStation and just play on that, so whichever. But they had, like I said, I think that's pretty much it on my end that I wanted to. I wanted Baldur's Gate 3, I'm interested in that. A lot of the same things Caleb was that we wanted to talk about. So there's so much more that came out of that, but that's about what I had for that as well. So,
all right. Well, should we move on to the Xbox Game Showcase?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, there's a lot to talk about on there.
There is a lot. I once again, when I was watching it, there were some games that caught my attention, and I wrote down notes about those to make sure that I mentioned them. And they did not always catch my mention for positive reasons.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually really curious. So if you've been listening for a while, obviously I'm deep in the Xbox ecosystem.
That's very true.
Let's be real. I'm in it. And so a lot of the show was actually really fun for me. It was really cool to see. I'm actually really interested in this, and I'm actually interested to talk about the big dog. I want to start off with that because I really want to see Caleb's side of things because it's just interesting. So let's talk about your Starfield.
Okay.
So I want to give my side of things because what's interesting. Perfect. So I'm late to Bethesda. Okay. I believe I've discussed this with you before. I can't remember if it was on the podcast or not, but I'm late to Bethesda. And so my introduction to Bethesda to really get in, is Fallout 76. Okay, everyone send your hate mail. I get it. Fallout 76. I actually really enjoyed it. Then I started getting into others. I started playing the others and really started getting into Bethesda games, Bethesda-like. So Fallout, Elder Scrolls, things like that. So when Starfield comes along, I'm okay and I'm all right with Bethesda. Like, it's okay. It's not anything like a big jam. Now, with Starfield, at first, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, there's Fallout in space. Sweet. Like, I might get that later. I'm going to have so many other games not on the list. Now, after watching this and seeing all the stuff that you can do and all the cool things, like, it's a little higher on my list, but I want to like it more.
Yeah.
I do. Like, there's such hype. There is nothing, I'm not saying anything wrong or it's bad. Like, by all means, when I say this, and I hope, because it looks fun. It looks so interesting and the stuff you can do and everything. But I'm not, like, I want to be more excited about it. I do. And so, like, I know I'll play it. I don't know if I'll play it day one. Just because I have other games I'm interested in that I'll be playing. And so, it's exciting. Lots of cool stuff, lots of innovation. And I actually feel like this is, forgive me when I say this, I feel this is the first next-gen game because of all the stuff that's happening and everything on there. So I'm excited, but I'm like, I don't know. I feel
like my saying this is the first next-gen game. Elden Ring would like a word with you. But
well, I mean, okay, you got me there. That was a really fun game. I guess how I meant that was more of like the processes and everything and the stuff I see. I'm like, wow, this is really like.
Well, evidently the most recent release of Cyberpunk 2077 will actually kill an RTX 4090. So,
really?
Like not literally burn them up. I suppose I should qualify that because there were 3090s getting killed by that one Amazon RPG. I kind of forgot about that. So no, it drags it to its knees. You get like 6 FPS out of it. Anyways, I am like the opposite of you with regards to Starfield. I don't want to like it.
Oh, really? Okay. This is where I'm curious.
At the very least, I don't want to be excited, right? Because I see the hype surrounding Starfield, and I see that Starfield itself is like, if you look back at the past, 15 years of Western RPGs, there are a few that stand out, right? AAA, highly publicized Western RPGs. You've got the Witcher franchise, which kind of has walked to the beat of its own drum the whole time, and more power to them. Keep doing what you do. Stop making Cyberpunk, anyways. And then you've got Bethesda and BioWare, right? These are the two companies that kind of defined like an entire decade of Western RPGs. On the one hand, you had Fallout, like Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. And then you had basically just Skyrim. Let's be honest.
Yes,
Morrowind and Oblivion led up to Skyrim, and they were also very well received.
Right.
But mostly just Skyrim. So you've got the Elder Scrolls, you've got the Fallout franchise, and then over on BioWare's side, you have Mass Effect, and you have Dragon Age. And so, like, both of them have their fantasy-inspired RPG, Dragon Age and Elder Scrolls, and they are different from each other. You know, between the two, for me personally, this has actually always been the case. Like, you go back to the earliest days of the Fallout franchise before Bethesda bought them, bought the rights, with the original Fallout, and then like Baldur's Gate and the early D&D inspired games that BioWare was making. And I've always been on the BioWare side of things, right? Because, and when I have talked to Wes about this, because of the game system more than anything else, the rules engine behind it, D&D makes more sense to me logically than GURPS does, which is what Fallout was originally based off of. Obviously, Bethesda has changed it and modernized it. They're not using a straight GURPS engine anymore in Fallout, and by extension, like Elder Scrolls started from different roots and does not like necessarily have the exact same lineage to it as Fallout, but they've kind of converged over time as development has taken place inside of Bethesda. But they just, I don't know, the games engine over there just never emphasized the things I wanted it to emphasize, and BioWare was emphasizing that stuff, right? So I was always on the BioWare side of that fence. And I look at Starfield, and this looks like a case where, instead of having their futuristic game being Fallout, which doesn't really compare with Mass Effect, very different genres, very different feels to them, anything, they don't remind anybody of each other. Starfield is, it's channeling pretty heavy Mass Effect vibes. Like, let's be honest, it is in that ballpark. And so now, you've got their fantasy franchises you can compare to each other, and now you're going to be able to compare a Bethesda, like, high science fiction franchise to BioWare's high science fiction franchise. And obviously there's plenty of differences between the two, and Bethesda's game is going to be a different game. Like, I'm not saying it's the same thing at all, but they're just going to be comparable. And I don't trust anyone in the Mass Effect space right now. Like, I don't even trust BioWare there, given Andromeda. So like, I want to not be excited by Starfield simply because I've been bit before, Like, I want to be cautious about this. I want to be skeptical. And if it turns out to be amazing, that's great. It may still not be for me, because it may still be too Bethesda-y for me, right? Like, it may still be too much of that for me to really get into it. And I can confidently say that that's a me thing, right? Because pretty much universally, everybody agrees that Obsidian is one of the best Fallout games ever. Obsidian. Oh my gosh. Let me get my names here correct. Outer Worlds is one of the best Fallout games ever made. And you know, I've tried to play Outer Worlds. I see what's really good about it, like the game design, and there's a lot to really like about Outer Worlds, but it is not for me. It's just not my cup of tea. Doesn't work for me. And that's how I rub against pretty much every Bethesda game that I try. You know, with the exception of Fallout 76, which I never really liked the concept of because I'm not into open world strategy, not open world strategy, open world survival games.
Yeah.
And like, that's a completely different genre than any of the other Fallout games. And it's not to say it's a bad game, but it was targeting a completely different audience than any other Fallout game. And I'm not sure that Bethesda realized that when they made it, you know?
You know, I was just thinking after what you were saying, I think I know what the problem is. That's associating to why I want to like it more, but I don't. I'm going to say something blaspheme, but I actually never played and completed a Mass Effect. And so when you were talking about that, I was like, you know, because I've played all of I played Dragon Age. I played the Elder Scrolls, you know, that was later. But I mean, we were just talking about Warhammer. I played the medieval stuff. Where, and I wonder if that may be it. Maybe it's just, like, I want to be excited, but it's like
space stuff.
Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe that's just it. I just haven't played enough. Maybe that's what it is. And by all means, this is not a hit on saying Starfield's bad, or by all means, this is, as Caleb has said, that's a him problem. This is a me problem too. Okay. Like, we're not dissing it, but,
there is not enough information about Starfield for me, even with the big Starfield thing that they did at the end of the Xbox showcase. Like I've read some of the articles talking about the stuff that has come out of that and the information that's been shared. And that's why I say it feels like a lot of Mass Effect is in there, right? Like they're using a lot of the DNA that made people really like Mass Effect, and they're combining it with new stuff that has come out since then, like No Man's Sky, and just kind of like, you know, taking these bits that people have really latched onto and enjoyed and putting them together into a Bethesda RPG. And that's great. Okay. But just given the fact that I don't trust anyone to do anything associated with anything even like Mass Effect ever since Andromeda happened.
Yeah.
And also I've never really jived with Bethesda RPGs or No Man's Sky for that matter. It just doesn't feel like it's going to be my cup of tea. But, you know, there's not enough to be confident about that yet.
Yeah. I mean, come September, I mean, you have Game Pass, so I mean,
I do. It'll be an option. I can try it.
I mean, more to come. I mean, I will play it. Like, by all means, I'm going to look at it, mess with it. You know, and I know Caleb, he will, and maybe it'll be 5 years after Divinity.
Oh gosh, yeah. I do make an exception for RPGs that are in Game Pass because I don't actually have to pay for them, which is why I have actually tried Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
Because that came out of Game Pass and I was like, ooh, I can download that one now.
Cheating.
And I downloaded it. It's not cheating, it's fine.
It's not cheating, bro.
I can't cheat against rules that I made up, okay?
Yep.
We should start.
So I am the referee here.
I should make these rules.
Right. Yeah. That would be funny. Hold him to it, to completing these games.
Oh, man.
Although, okay, so Starfield, I mean, by all means, like I said, for me, it looks really cool. It's amazing stuff. Like I was about to say base building, but ship building. I mean, they literally made a mech. It took off, you know, like there's so much going on. And I also think it might be one of those things I just might have to just sit down and play, like really.
Yeah.
And just, so.
Yeah, it's going to be a really hard thing to know for sure. If, listener, you have Game Pass, then you'll be able to just try it out yourself and decide whether or not this is something you want to sink dozens of hours into. If you don't have Game Pass, when it comes out, I'll make a review video of it. What the heck? Why not?
True.
I should do that even kind of semi-regularly.
You know what's interesting? I want to look. I heard this, and I'm going to verify right now that it actually is cheaper on Steam to buy it, actually. They put like a 20% discount. Let me see.
Oh.
Starfield.
Good for Steam.
It could be.
Just talk for a minute about how Valve are the best. like in the entire games industry.
Valve?
Yeah.
They can't count to 3 though.
Yeah, I got mad at them for that a few years back when I was a teenager. No, like, let's be honest. Because what happened was I was very late to the game on all of Valve's stuff, but I was kind of scrolling through like a Steam winter sale or something like that, and Valve was selling all of their games in a bundle for like $10, and I was like, oh, sure, I've heard nothing but good things about all of these games. Why don't I try them out? And so I paid my $10 and I downloaded Portal and beat it in about 2 hours. And then
Portal was awesome.
I was like, holy crap. The next day I downloaded Portal 2 and beat that in about 6 hours. And I was like, well, that's just the best thing I've ever played. And then I downloaded Half-Life and I beat that. And then I downloaded Half-Life 2 and I beat that. And it was at that point, you know, I was about halfway through Half-Life 2 Episode 1 when I realized that Half-Life 2 Episode 2 was where that story ended, and it was not finished. They had announced a Half-Life 2 Episode 3 was in the works, and yet that was like 15 years ago, and nothing had happened since. And it was at that point that I realized, yeah, Team Fortress 2, Half-Life 2, Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Episode
Dota
2, Dota 2. These idiots can't, and I had a bit of a feud with them because stuff like Half-Life and, you know, Left 4 Dead and Portal are genuinely some of the best gaming experiences in the history of PC games. And so I was pissed at them for not doing more cool stuff. I was like, why aren't you doing cool things? Totally not paying attention to the fact that while I was whining about them, they were experimenting with Steam machines, trying to get inexpensive PC console gaming in the living room to happen. And then they built from that into the Steam Link and the Steam controller, just kind of building on that idea, and then pivoted from there to making VR actually like viable and stuff like that, and releasing that, the Index, and then Half-Life Alyx, and then pivoting and reinventing the entire PC hardware gaming scene with the Steam Deck. So, like, obviously, Valve was doing a ton of stuff while I was complaining. I just wasn't paying attention to it because I was being a little loser. But I have forgiven them now. All is forgiven.
All right, I do want to say I just looked. It is no longer on sale for the pre-order. So, but I can't confirm or deny. I was listening to a podcast or something, and I remember someone was like, "Oh, you can get it for a certain % off right now." So I cannot confirm nor deny now. So yeah, Starfield. I will add they did release in celebration a Xbox controller. Go figure. I mean, that's their next gem. They always are selling different controllers, so which is cool. I mean, you're a fan. I mean, I bought the Sea of Thieves one back in the day, so I can't complain on that. And then also wireless headset that's in the theme of it, as well as if you decided you wanted to spend a lot of money on this, you can actually not only get the collector's edition, but you get a watch.
Why?
A wearable. So in the game of Starfield, you use a watch for a lot of different things that we saw. So not only telling time, planet stuff, but the UI interface is on this watch that you can actually buy and wear. And yeah.
Oh, man, that sounds just like a Fallout game. Okay.
So literally Pip-Boy.
Yep, it is.
Did you not watch and see the watch?
I didn't see that one. No, I didn't notice that one.
Yeah. So you can actually have the watch / Pip-Boy. No, that's funny.
Yeah, that doesn't actually encourage me because once again, Fallout has never really been my jam.
Oh, wow. Didn't when Fallout 76 come out, they sold a watch with it as well?
It was a Pip-Boy.
They sold a Pip-Boy. Yep.
Yeah. You'd think they would, try something different.
I mean, you got to realize people bought it. I mean,
I know. That's how I know about it. Watch. That's how I know about it. Watch. Somebody I know bought that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's for the fans. Let's be real. We may not be in that. Okay. I mean, when I was younger, I bought the Gears of War 3 Collector's Edition, and I still have that Marcus Phoenix statue. Okay, so I get it. I
will say, listener, it's really kind of odd, if you think about it, that you could be a fan of a game that hasn't yet released in a franchise that is brand new. Like, there is nothing to be a fan of here. You could say, I am a fan of games that Bethesda makes, and so I'm pretty confident I will enjoy this game. But there is nothing to be a fan of yet in Starfield. It's not out. We know almost nothing about it. Like, this isn't Fallout 3, where, like, there was a fan base from the original Fallout games coming to Bethesda. And this isn't, this isn't Skyrim, where you could be a fan of Skyrim before Skyrim came out because you played Oblivion and Morrowind and you were like, oh my gosh, those are really good. I'm super excited for Skyrim. Because it's going to be the same thing, except more. Nothing to be a fan of with Starfield yet. Like, you can be a Bethesda fan. I'm fine with that. But don't be a Starfield fan until Starfield actually exists, Like, it doesn't exist until they've released it.
If you want to know, that is for American USD, it is $299.99.
Definitely don't be a fan to the $200 plus region before the game has actually come out. Like, what the heck?
So, yeah.
Okay.
So that's Starfield. Figured we'd talk about that now because that's probably the big one, I guess you could say, on our thoughts for that. We'll go ahead and we'll start with Fable.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing they're doing.
I mean, I liked Fable. It wasn't anything that I thought was huge, groundbreaking. I mean, I liked it. And this trailer, I mean, it shows that it still has kind of that Fable humor. And yeah, I'm excited to see. And what's interesting is this is being made by a racing people that made Forza Playground Games. So they're using that same engine for this. So I think I'm optimistic to see if this works. You know what I mean? Like, to see if they could do an RPG and this in this engine that was made for racing.
A game that was optimized to make rigid body cars look real good.
Yeah.
Let's try and do it with soft body individuals now.
Right.
Okay.
Now, what was interesting is there's a lot of, I've kind of followed this. A lot of people wanted gameplay footage. And apparently the developer's like, that's the gameplay footage. That's what it is. So a lot of people thought it was a CGI.
Engine. What do you?
Yeah, they said that because apparently a lot of the stuff that showed her throwing a fireball, things like that, they're like, no, that's it. That's it. That's the footage. And I was like, oh, well,
I mean,
that'll be interesting.
It didn't have like UI elements on it.
Right. It did not have the UI.
But it had the appearance of a pre-rendered cinematic. And I think what the developers are saying is, well, no, that's not pre-rendered. That's in engine. Like, that's what it will look like when you play the game. Obviously, actual gameplay will have some kind of UI, but let's be honest. Nobody played Fable because it was like amazing gameplay and had like, super nitty-gritty, intricate RPG elements. They played it because it's a specific vibe and a very specific sense of humor. And that's fine. Yep. Like, plenty of great games to play that are great fun just because of the vibe. Like, freaking the entire exciting. Saints Row franchise, Yeah. So like, no shade on people that are super thrilled about Fable. Like, if you vibe with that, then absolutely go to town. Not my jam, again, but I get it. I'm happy for you all.
Yeah. No, that's the one I'll play. Like, I like I said, I'm excited to see more of the game. Like, can they pull this off for one, like in a racing engine, and B, let's see what the story, all right, cool. Let's go ahead and let's get this one out of the way. Star Wars Outlaws. This was actually shown at the Xbox Showcase. This is a Ubisoft game on there that they say was coming to 2024. I mean, Star Wars and me in video games. I mean, the last one I really got into was the Star Wars Force Unleashed
Yeah.
back in the day. So like I really enjoyed that and thought it was pretty cool. I mean, you pull down a Star Destroyer but any other Star Wars games that I've played, like I did play the Lego Star Wars, that was fun. Like yeah, you can't go wrong with those Lego games in Star Wars.
It's a Lego game. Yeah.
Yeah. I was not a fan of the newer Battlefields.
Like I get in there.
Or that's what I meant. Battlefront.
It was Battlefield, but
yes.
Technically Battlefront.
Right. I mean, I played them, but I never was like, all right, let's really get into this. But
no.
And then
yeah. I mean, I played the original Battlefronts. Both
those were
games.
Amazing.
I played PS1 Star Wars Demolitions. That was a fun game. Really enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
I played, obviously, Knights of the Old Republic. One of the best RPGs ever made. Outstanding game. And then, Jedi Knight Outcast, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, like played stuff like that. And nothing that has been done in the realm of Star Wars games, aside from the most recent, I guess they're technically Jedi Knight games, has even remotely interested me.
The
Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order, both of those have interested me, but the combat is a little bit less hack and slash and a little bit more Dark Souls, and I don't drive super duper well with Dark Souls, so I haven't tried those out.
I have heard if you just do the easiest mode, the story mode,
maybe it's okay.
That's what I've heard, and that actually interested me because I overheard that when someone was talking. I was like, oh, I might go back and play that then.
Yeah, I should maybe give them a look then. But yeah, so this Outlaws game is very much the thing where I'm like, I am interested to see what a Star Wars game not developed by EA looks like. But the past two Star Wars games developed by EA, well, under EA's purview, under their supervision, have been very well received generally. So, like, maybe EA kind of fixed their, mended their way with the Star Wars franchise. But, I'm still interested to see what a non-EA Star Wars game looks like. However, I'm not really interested to see what a Ubisoft Star Wars game looks like, because I know what it'll look like. It'll be an open world with a bunch of bases that you can go and attack and take over, and a bunch of other random little events scattered procedurally across the landscape, and absolutely no heart or soul to drive any of it. You want to know how I know that that's what it's going to be? Because that's been every Assassin's Creed game, every Tom Clancy game, and every Far Cry game since like Far Cry 3. Okay? They're all the same game. Ubisoft, quit it.
I mean, I guess I can't be too mad at people that like that just because I like all the Gears of War. So I can't be like, I agree with you, but I also want like,
okay,
I can't say too much.
Here's the difference though. Here's the difference. And obviously not necessarily speaking from a position of super great authority on this, because I have only played 2 Gears of War games and they're the most recent ones. So like, I don't know how this compares to the original ones, but I will say this. Gears 4 and Gears 5, way more interesting characters than any Ubisoft game I have seen ever.
Okay.
Ever.
And that's why I play them, is the story. Let's be real for Gears.
If nothing else, the characters were funny. Like, genuinely funny. They did funny things. They had funny conversations. They made me chuckle. They made me laugh. That is so much better than anything that any Ubisoft game has ever done. Like, yeah. So, yeah, that's my thing. Is I was on board with with Star Wars Outlaws, like right up until the end, because I missed like studio nomenclature at the beginning of the trailer. So I kind of like was watching this whole thing and I'm like, oh, wait, this is a Star Wars game. Oh, it's not a follow-up to like Jedi Survivor. This is new. This is different. Oh, okay, Outer Rim, Outlaws is like the Han Solo, like Lando Calrissian world with the huts and stuff like that. This is going to be okay. I'm interested. Then at the very end, Ubisoft logo, and I'm like, dang it.
And this is supposed to actually take time, or it's supposed to take place between Empire Strikes Back and the I almost said The Last Jedi. My bad.
I mean, technically, it would take place between those two.
Yeah, you okay? You got me.
It's just very, very, very much closer to
narrow it
Empire
down
Strikes Back.
Okay,
It's like,
we'll
yes,
narrow it
that's
down.
like a 60-year period. It does take place sometime in there, yes, but it's actually way closer to the beginning than...
Yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah. So, I mean, that's another one we may be watching and observing just to see, because, that Ubisoft.
I'm interested in that game mostly for the storyline, just because I'm a Star Wars geek and, I want the story.
Which is interesting. Like Disney, I don't know, they've been doing something interesting where they have been making the newer Star Wars games and shows like canon.
Yeah.
And so...
Well, I mean, they've got to. They decanonized absolutely everything else when they bought the franchise.
Which is funny because, like, majority of the writers are bringing all that stuff back into canon, just putting it into this other stuff.
Yeah.
Like, everything except for what, like, the actual mainline sequels is just like, oh, hey, that's what happened in a book.
Yeah.
Now they just need to canonize Knights of the Old Republic. Freaking... I'm still ticked about that. Like, I'm sorry. That's my favorite Star Wars story in the history of the franchise.
Yeah.
And they like, oh, no, that's not canon anymore. Screw you, Disney.
Yeah.
No, so, yeah, I mean, cautiously optimistic, I guess.
Yeah, you can be cautiously optimistic about it. I have zero optimism in me for it.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, let's move on. Another big one that's actually from... I think is going to be good is Avowed.
Yeah, I thought
Obsidian.
that was really, really interesting because I'm sitting here like, oh, Obsidian really is just trying to take all of Bethesda's games. It's like, hey, it's an Elder Scrolls knockoff now. They already stole Fallout. Here's Elder Scrolls. No, I thought that was funny because especially since Microsoft now owns Obsidian and Bethesda. So it's like, are they really stealing from Bethesda if they're copying their stuff? Because it's just another Microsoft studio. Like,
I mean, I don't know. Why not let someone create their own, like, yeah, I mean, why not? But it looks pretty cool. I'm optimistic for it. It's something I will definitely be playing. I mean, obviously
it's another
Game
one
Pass.
Of those. Yeah. It's another one of those that's going to be on Game Pass. And I'm like, just like Outer Worlds, looks very interesting. I'm definitely going to give it a try. May not jive with it because, again, Obsidian seems to be carrying a lot of the DNA that they have from making Fallout New Vegas with them into their current projects. But I'll give it a shot. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Might be awesome.
Yep. Hellblade 2?
Yeah. They literally sold me on that with just the trailer audio alone.
I was wondering. I thought it was really interesting.
If you watch the Senua's Saga trailer with headphones on, you will understand a small piece of why I loved the first game so much. Audio design in that game was outstanding. And the fact that they're just continuing that with the second one, I'm there. Yeah. I will play this.
Yep. It looks really cool. So I never did finish. So I was late to it because it was Caleb that introduced me to the first one. And it's on Game Pass. Obviously, Microsoft owns it. So I was like, yeah, let's try it. Me getting into it. I got quite a ways through it. And it wasn't that I was lack of like, I don't want to play it anymore. It was just other games. It just happens. But what I was playing, I was like, dang, this is really cool. And that's actually one of the games when I first bought my upgraded headphones that I played with. I was like, wow. Yeah. Crazy. So yeah,
it
optimistic for this one. So, and I believe they said that one's actually coming out 2024?
Yeah, beginning of 2024, I think is what they said.
Let's go ahead. We'll get this one out of the way. Forza Motorsport. This is kind of more of, I'm excited for people that are really interested in cars for this one. It's supposed to be really good tech, really good stuff. Yeah.
There's some new cars.
Yeah, I know. One that I'm actually interested in, I'm excited for because I do play it, is City Skylines 2.
Yeah.
I do like those city builders, and if you like SimCity or any of the first, like, this is up your alley.
It's very much like, I'm really glad that somebody resurrected this franchise after EA killed it. Because, yeah, it's not technically SimCity, but it's SimCity. Like,
Yeah.
It's what SimCity
awesome.
wished it had become instead of what it did become.
It's what EA wanted SimCity to become, but
yeah.
But yeah, that I think that's exciting, and it's going to be coming October 24th, and it's on Game Pass, so pretty cool. Something that I have respect for, but I thought this was interesting, is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.
Yeah. It's so like, are you okay?
This is a new game,
sort of.
Like, that's what I'm getting from the 2024. So that's why I'm like, wait, are they just redoing?
So they're not redoing it, right?
Okay.
So like Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, which was just called Microsoft Flight Simulator, was a ground up rebuild of the concept of Microsoft Flight Simulator, right? They didn't use the existing code base from Flight Sim X. They just went back from scrap. They're like, okay, build an entire flight simulator from the ground up. Took a ton of work, ton of effort. Boom, here you go, new game. Flight Simulator 2024 is not that. It is going to be building on the existing code base for Flight Simulator, and they are going to be tweaking, adding a bunch of new systems and stuff like that to make it more advanced, more sophisticated, yada, yada, yada. So it's like, yeah, okay. Yes, new game, sort of, technically, but it's a new game in the same way that, like, Gears 5 is a new game, right? It is technically the same game engine as Gears 4. And, the controls are the same.
Unreal
and everything.
4. Okay.
Right. It's like, it feels the same. The character design is all the same, that kind of thing. But we added a new story and, some new multiplayer or something. I don't know if they added new multiplayer to Gears 5.
I mean, I respect it. I mean, this is...
But yeah, so that's kind of what it is. And I will give them, like, my favorite thing about what they've been doing with Flight Simulator is, like, their little events. And they talked about that too, because, like, they did the Top Gear Maverick event in there where you could, like, go and do the actual mission that was shown in the movie and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. Mad respect for that. But Dune? Like,
Dune.
They're putting freaking Dune in Flight Simulator. I'm here for it. Look, I want to fly one of the Dragonfly copter things. And that's true. Yeah. So yeah, like, that was kind of the big news for me. It was all like, hey, we're revamping some systems and releasing an upgraded Flight Simulator in 2024. I'm like, yay. Oh, by the way, Dune Dragonfly copters. Holy crap, yes!
Yeah. So that's another one that, I might mess with a little bit, but yeah, it's... And of course, I just got to give mad props to Keanu Reeves for this next one. Like, I don't know. I just really enjoy Keanu. So Cyberpunk 2077, their DLCs come out. And he was there again to introduce it. So he actually introduced on the Xbox stage back when Cyberpunk was coming out. He got up there, charming, great. Well, this one, he did.
I mean, come on. Everybody knows you're breathtaking. Like,
yeah, exactly. So
Keanu Reeves.
It's just cool. And I think, I'm saying, so I don't play Cyberpunk. One of these days I will. I mean, I haven't done The Witcher either. I know, blasphemy.
Look, I'm waiting for the expansion to come out and then for the price to get cut in half. Then I'll buy it.
I heard that this is actually the DLC that's coming out is like replacing everything, systems, things. So it's like, you may either this is a great time when this drops to just start playing, or maybe stop and wait till the systems come. So I don't know. But
yeah, no, it's very much like it's a big DLC, but they're also dropping a gigantic patch that is going to fix all of the remaining bugs and replace all of the things that everybody is sick and tired of with Cyberpunk 2077. So yeah, I think that this post-expansion, post-DLC is going to be kind of a completely new game, and that's what I'm going to play. I'm not going to have memories of this horribly broken, awful game that it was when it originally launched. I'm going to play the finished one, like 5 years later.
I think it might be me as well once it's all together.
It's like I'm looking forward to that. It'll be nice.
All right, let's move to this next one that looks really interesting. Clockwork Revolution.
Oh, man. So, like, here's my problem with this one. The vibe check on this game is immaculate. Looks so good. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It also just looks like BioShock Infinite, which, to be clear, the vibe check on BioShock Infinite is also immaculate, even in the year of our Lord 2023.
Yes.
But, I don't know. Like, just what they showed looked very BioShock Infinite inspired and kind of derivative, which is not to say that it is, listener, okay? They may have just been marketing to a very specific audience. Like, anybody who liked BioShock Infinite will probably also like this. So let's give them a trailer that looks an awful lot like the thing that they liked so that they'll want to play this, which they will also like. Doesn't mean it's the same. It just means that they're in a target audience that is similar to BioShock Infinite's, which is fine. But for me personally, that kind of advertising does not work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm specifically looking for something new, not something that is just a ripoff of another thing that I played. Which, yeah, I get that there is a certain level of hypocrisy in that statement, given that I was just talking about how much I was looking forward to, like, Baldur's Gate 3 and how I really ought to give Alan Wake 2 a shot because it might be like Control and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I understand that I'm a hypocrite. Just to be clear, you don't have to send me angry emails.
Fair enough. No, so another thing is I played the first BioShock. I never completed it, but I never played the other two.
Oh, you can skip the second one. It doesn't matter. But you need to finish the first one, and you need to play BioShock Infinite. It is, holy crap. Like, that is one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah, so I've heard great things.
There are not many games that get me to, like, right at the end of the game, they have, like, just sealed themselves so hard into my head that I will sit and watch the entire credits of the game, like, giving, praise to all of the hundreds of developers that have worked on this thing over the years in order to make something that literally blew my mind. BioShock Infinite is one of them. Okay? Like, oh man.
Yeah.
So if Clockwork Revolution turns out to be even like a third as good as BioShock Infinite, it's going to be an amazing game and I'll probably love it. But just from a first blush perspective, could it possibly live up to BioShock Infinite? I don't know. I mean, if they give me a skyhook and let me zip through the skies in higher resolution and better textures than BioShock Infinite because it's a much newer game, I'm here for it.
We're there. Yeah. Yeah. So, and those are the kind of the things that stuck out to me on the list I kind of put together and want to have a little bit more. Like I said, obviously Starfield, like that one. I figured we'd discuss that one a little bit more on our opinions and stuff. But one thing I did notice, like I said, there wasn't a lot of id software or machine game. Like, everyone thought we were going to see Indiana Jones because usually if you have a game, you want to have it coincide with the movie that's coming out. But I was like, I guess they're not. So I don't know.
I just think that they're so far away from finished on that game that there wouldn't be any point in showing us anything right now.
True.
Like, they already announced it. They would just be re-announcing it,
in a sense. Well, I mean, I believe we got the first Fable trailer back when that Indiana Jones one came out. So I thought maybe we would get something like that.
I thought we had the first Fable trailer before that. I could be wrong. It's been so long.
Yeah, right. For some reason, I was thinking it was in that same group of CGI. You know what I mean?
I can't remember. Just teasers.
Right. So who knows? Maybe
I will say that we got teasers for both of those after the new Metroid Prime, which we haven't heard a word about since like freaking 2018 or something like that. Like, geez,
True.
Nintendo, what the heck are you doing over there?
Working.
Are they?
Maybe. I figured I'll just mention this just because it was part of the show. You can now get a black Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
That is now 1 terabyte of internal SSD storage, which, sweet. That's good because, let's be real, if they're putting Starfield on this, you gotta, or these new games. I mean, you're gonna have like 2 games on these things. So
like seriously, can't wait for the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's 500 gigs.
I know. So, which is good. So and huge. I mean, we did talk about the other expansion storages coming down in price, which is good, but this also is there. Any other worth note things on there that they mentioned other than the hardware that we discussed, the controller for Starfield on there, but yeah, it was just that Xbox Series S. So no other special editions or anything like that. So, which I would have assumed they would have done a Starfield Series X, but who knows? Maybe that'll come later.
I mean, it already looks like something straight out of 2001: A Space Odyssey, so whatever.
True. I didn't think about that. You got me there. So, but anything you want to talk about? Maybe I missed on the Xbox Showcase.
Yeah, you missed the most important piece of news: The Legend of Monkey Island in Sea of Thieves.
Oh my gosh, I did. I actually was thinking about writing that on my notes.
Totally missed that. Yeah, I did. So, I mean, I really need to get back into Sea of Thieves. That looks amazing.
This is going to do it, isn't it?
It looks great. It probably will. And let's be honest, Sea of Thieves never really needed to do anything to justify its existence to me other than just have the sailing mechanic. True. I love that so much. It's just relaxing. I love that. So I need to get back in and do some sailing. But yeah, like freaking, let's go do some Monkey Island crap while I'm there.
I was told that it's all the same voice actors too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they just released another Monkey Island not that long ago that had all the same voice actors. So like, they clearly had all their numbers. So
yeah. No, I was sort of thinking. So here's a question. So Sea of Thieves got Pirates of the Caribbean. They also got Lucasfilm with this Monkey Island. Is there another pirate franchise? Treasure Island?
I mean, Sea of Thieves just as a whole is kind of a play on Treasure Island.
Right.
So like
Muppet
I don't know
Treasure Island.
Muppet.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Microsoft, you need to call Disney.
Well, I mean,
call Disney and make this
these two expansions have been Disney, Lucasfilm, and Pirates.
Oh my gosh!
And if you can get Tim Curry to come do a voice for it,
oh, dude,
that would be so good. That would
shut
be
up and take my money.
Good. Oh, I mean, it wouldn't even actually cost more money, but yeah,
no, right. I mean,
I'll pay money for that. Like, freaking,
which they did say this Monkey Island one's just going to be in there, and if it's anything like the Pirates of the Caribbean one, I'm going to love it because this one, the Pirates of the Caribbean one, nobody can interrupt you while you're doing these tales. And I'm sorry if you call me a noob or just get good. I get it, but that's not what I like doing in Sea of Thieves. Like, battles, things. I understand why it's there.
Like, the one thing I excel at in Sea of Thieves is running away from other players. Like, I'm not good at finding treasure. I'm not good at completing quests or anything like that. I don't even get treasure. Like, if you see me on the high seas, listener, I don't have anything on my boat, okay? Yeah. I got like a barrel of bananas and some cannonballs. Just the ones that they started me with, all right? Like, that's it. So don't at me. I am just here to sail this freaking boat around some tropical islands and play my hurdy-gurdy. Okay?
But now he's going to Monkey Island.
Yes. You can't even find me.
What was interesting, I think when I saw this, I had to laugh because I was like, dang, that was a good tease. So in the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, so you do a bunch of puzzles, and there's actually, you can leave the certain, there's like 5 acts, let's say, in this Pirates of the Caribbean. In one of them, you go to this undead city. It's a undead city, but if you complete the entire thing, you'll find one of the Monkey Island ships that's crashed in there, and it actually starts playing the Monkey Island music, and you can read a little lore. And I thought that was really cool, but I actually didn't think to myself that this is a tease for the next big, expansion. I was like, okay, that was, so when I saw this, I was like, I should have known. Like,
oh my gosh. So if we play the Monkey Island one, and then at the very end of one of them, we find like Kermit the Frog or something like that, then we'll know.
Oh, dude.
Captain Smollett is coming.
Right? Like,
oh man.
I mean, okay, so to be honest, is there any other pirate game or franchise that they could partner with. Like, I'm serious. Like, I can't think of any. Like, because we talked about Treasure Island. That's a movie. Yeah. Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, we got this. I never would have thought Monkey Island, but
there's really not that much like franchisable pirate media, you know?
Yeah.
So much pirate media is just like a variation on Treasure Island, and it has been for so long at this point that
Goonies?
like
Goonie One-Eyed Willie.
that's true. They could go that route.
It's a prequel to Goonies, you know, it's the One-Eyed Willie story.
Yeah, true.
Hey.
Or at least just bringing him in. Like somehow.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what else they would cross over besides these. But I'm here for it. Like, this is great. Yeah. This is great.
It's good.
The other game that I just wanted to mention was actually the one that they started out with, South of Midnight. Like, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know what that is supposed to be, but the vibe of that trailer was so good. Like, it was so good. So yeah, they've got my attention. It may turn out to be an absolutely garbage game, but that trailer is a work of art. And okay, that might be it.
Yeah. No,
Maybe get one good trailer out of that game, but it looked so cool.
So apparently it's supposed to be about like the South of America.
Yeah, it's a bayou type situation, and
it's supposed to be representing all the tall tales, I guess, if you will, of the South and stuff. And so what was funny is when I saw that, it made me think of Red Dead Redemption, because when you're playing, I was like, oh yeah, they do have some of those bayou, but then you'd run into like paranormal stuff in Red Dead Redemption and this other stuff. And I was like, I actually really enjoyed those. So I was like, oh, I might check this game out.
Yeah. Like it's a little bit of like technically American subculture that you just don't really see a whole lot of in popular media. And, you know, it's kind of a shame that you don't see that sort of thing more often. Yeah. And it looks very cool. And like, just some of the characters that they were showing in the situation, just the general vibe of it was like, I don't know, it was giving me real, like the very beginning of Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride, like at Disneyland, when you're just kind of floating through the bayou up there past the restaurant on one side and the dude with the banjo on the other side. I'm like, this is sweet. This feels so good.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it.
A good one. Yep.
But yeah, those are the only other games that I really wanted to talk about from the Xbox Game Showcase.
Yeah, well, is there anything else?
I mean, I didn't pay any real attention to the Ubisoft event, listener. Ubisoft talked about some of their games. Let's be honest, they're all the same game. The only Ubisoft game that I ever have had any interest in over the past, like, decade is the frickin'... It's just called Skull and Crossbones, right? Or
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones, yes. The pirate one. The game that was literally Ubisoft going, okay, everyone's favorite part of Assassin's Creed Black Flag was the pirate stuff. So we're going to make a game that is just that. And everyone on Earth went, awesome. Not only will that be a slapping awesome game, it's going to be really easy to make because you kind of already made it.
Yep.
It's in Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So just pull that bit out and release the game. And here we are, like 7 years later, and the game still isn't out. And I'm like, Ubisoft, I hate you. I hate you so much.
Yeah. Theirs was a lot of the gameplay and stuff. I mean, the fans of Assassin's Creed that like the first one more than what it's become, I guess, are excited for the new game that's coming out because it's supposed to be more of the first one.
You know, they say that.
I know.
I will bet you money that is lip service to what is essentially going to be an open world with a bunch of bases that you can attack and take over, and then a bunch of random events scattered around. Otherwise known as a Ubisoft game. I have no confidence in them.
So that's really all kind of the big news on there for any kind of the games. I did want to mention stuff that has come out. I figured this is definitely a big mention. Microsoft actually has stopped developing new games for their last gen. They said the last one for that internally for them was that Minecraft Legends.
Yeah.
So now's the time, and they did reassure that they've upped the stock for their Xbox Series X and S. So now's the time to move forward, just because of that. So if you're looking for that, or just get a PC. I mean,
that's true.
Or get a PC. So,
like, which at this point is actually looking an awful lot like get a Steam Deck or get the what's the ROG Ally, you know? Like,
oh yeah, if you want
get one of those and freaking just play Game Pass games on them. Like, holy crap.
So, I mean, literally that what was it? So it's 2023. Didn't that gen came out 10 years ago?
Yes. Yep.
2013, 2020. Yeah. So yeah, if you are still waiting for some reason, there you go. You can upgrade that way. So there's many different stock options there. I guess I'll go ahead and mention this just because it is news and it's Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. We may know everything by the end of this month. Just because of what had happened with the FTC, it pretty much went and it pretty much brought everything forward from August to the end of this month. So next week, you're good. I mean, it's huge news. I mean, whether you're a gamer or not, this is huge. So
yeah,
you will know if the FTC gets what they want or Microsoft gets what they want, and they'll probably close soon. So that is big stuff. So figured and so everyone's, from what I've gathered, the end of this month. So, and we'll report on that when it happens. And that's pretty much all the news that I have there. I wanted to talk about. Caleb, you have anything else you want to talk about?
Absolutely not. I'm
Landon, you have any comments? Anything you want to say?
One thing that I have learned in the past, little bit that we've been recording is if you want Caleb to buy your game without, maybe not pre-order, but at least to get it, relatively early on, make it a pirate game.
Gosh, dang it. Yeah.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
A pirate / sailing / some sort of old-timey boat-themed game. And there you go. He's going to buy it.
So there's a game called Windward. It came out back in like 2015 or something like that. It's a really basic game. Indie game, not very complicated, where you literally just control a ship, sailing from port to port, just basically running errands and doing trade routes and stuff like that. And that's the entire game. Just upgrade your ship, sail further away, get more money. That's the game loop. There's nothing more complicated than that.
Yeah.
One of the most satisfying games I've ever played. Like, I was sitting there, I made you can go watch a review of that game as well, listener, on our YouTube channel. And I very much was like playing that. And it was shortly after the open beta for Sea of Thieves, where I kind of fell in love with Sea of Thieves, and I did in fact pre-order Sea of Thieves. That I was sitting there playing Windward and making that review, and I'm like, should I get a boat? Do I need to go buy a boat? Is that what I should be taking away from this?
Yeah, you're not wrong. See, that one, I would love to do the Monkey Island stuff with you. But I mean, you said you didn't even do the Pirates of the Caribbean one.
I didn't. It's been so long since I've been into Sea of Thieves that, now, and we've talked about it, and now I'm like jonesing for it. I'm like, oh,
well, if you're ever on, I would go through those. I mean, if you want to get through that Pirates of the Caribbean before next month, I think that one comes out in July something.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
I mean, I'd be down to go through it again.
Yeah, maybe.
It's good story. It's good atmosphere.
Yeah,
it is.
Let's be honest. The story doesn't even need to be good. I'm there for the atmosphere. The atmosphere is good. I'm in.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just tell you. I'm just going to tell you. So basically to do the first Pirates of the Caribbean, there's big old arches, and there's a portal in the middle. You drive your ship through the portal, and they're always right next to the outposts. Mm-hmm. So you drive it in, and the first thing is you come in, and then all of a sudden the old school pirate stuff starts playing. A pirate shows up. The parrot says, starts talking that, it's the Disney ripoff of all the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. And as you're going through, there's a story that you're kind of, as you're making through, it talks, and it's the whole ride, and it's just, you
That's
know you
awesome.
want to.
Yeah, no, I do.
So cool. All right. Well, I think that's everything. Man, a lot of information, a lot of news. What? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So my brain, is there anything else for like this next week? I can't think of.
I don't think so. I think it's going to slow down a little bit now.
Okay. Man,
Hopefully.
crazy. Unless, some Apple comes out with something, or
no, it'll be Nintendo. If Nintendo's all like, "Hey, Nintendo Direct's happening like tomorrow," and we're just like, okay.
True. Fair enough. Okay. Well, we'll report on that or whatever else. So might be a slow week, might be big. Who knows? But listener, we appreciate you listening through the entire episode for this gaming showcase week of all these games and everything. Like I said, if there's any games or anything that you're interested, want us to maybe look at, review, take a look at for any games or have an opinion, go ahead and put on our social media, let us know, or callingallplatforms.com. You can check out all those gaming trailers or gaming things that Caleb was talking about on our YouTube channel. You can take a look at that. If you want to go ahead and give give some support to Landon, let's be real, Landon here needs the support because especially with my coughing and everything that we've had this past couple episodes, he's had to edit out and make it sound somewhat decent. And if you like what you hear, give Landon support over on our Patreon. All right, dear listener, have a good week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Calling All Platforms is a production of Supporter Sound Studios. To learn more about how you can support the podcast, go to www.patreon.com/callingallplatforms.